When it comes to this drawing, what I'm doing right now is related to a sketchbook challenge initiated by Busch. He's been one of my teachers, so I'm joining in on that right now. Trying to catch up with it, actually.
Sketchbook challenge. But twice a week, I am going to give you a new challenge that helps you fill up your sketchbook.
Hello, CraftyAndy here, and these are my thoughts. Now I can sit here and cry over the lack of success on my YouTube channel over the past 10 years or so. The fact that I needed to make that money right now, 60-hour work weeks, stress over this or that. But really, there has been a lot of advantages from not being a massive success overnight. I was able to avoid a lot of mistakes that I've seen plenty of other creators make. Maybe I would have made them myself, maybe not, who knows. But I have to look at it at a positive aspect, otherwise, what good is it? Not being receptive to trolls like, say, Wings of Redemption.
Son with this shit, son.
Yeah, right now it's fun to play with the occasional death threat or just completely degrading insults. But as I get bigger, that shit's gonna stop real fast. I don't mean blocking people, it's just I'm gonna prioritize people who are complimentary or have genuine questions as opposed to someone who just wants to give me shit. You can't stop people from trying, but you can't give in to them and treat them with any legitimacy, else that will be the only audience that comes to your channel. I think the best thing to always do is remind yourself that this is a stranger on the internet, and you'll likely never see them again. This is not a school playground or a prison yard. Understanding power structures in terms of fame. People will go out of their way for your attention and maybe even do things they regret later. I had someone that probably meant well as far as I know. They claimed they were of age and without any prompting sent me pictures of themselves. I guess in any other context it'd be fine, but because I'm a public figure now, I can't even encourage such things or play into it for the possibility of it being some kind of trap. Because I have no way of knowing exactly who this person is. And when I didn't want to make any arrangements for public sexcapades and express a disinterest to do so, he later turned around and asked me how he could support me. I pointed him to my Patreon, and he hasn't talked to me since. Controversies and how to handle them. There is no way to avoid controversy as long as you are a public figure, unless you are a bland piece of paper that has no opinions on anything meaningful outside of a basic surface level when it comes to a movie or a video game, which is fine. But regardless, it can happen, nonetheless. You can handle it by not going on the defensive for one thing. As long as it's something not true or at the most embellished, then for fuck's sakes, don't even give them the time of day. I'm just one guy, but I had no idea of the controversies a number of big YouTubers were in until they made videos about them. Most of this petty drama shit stays on the web. Now, if it does involve something wrong and it starts to grow, possibly own up to it and then move on, because ultimately if it doesn't involve actual criminal charges, no one will care in a month. Like, I hate to use this as an example, but outside of YouTube there was a situation with a news anchor. They kept saying that he killed a 8-year-old girl. He was on Encyclopedia Dramatica. Did he ever respond to it? No, he didn't even say no or yes. And people pushed it, but they got no response because there was absolutely no legitimacy behind it. Don't be a bigot. No shit. Don't do politics. Well, now this one is a difficult one for me, because I can't do fluffy cupcake rainbows all the time. I go fucking crazy. I honestly don't know how someone like AVGN, the Angry Nerd, for instance, can go on and not make jokes or not say anything in relation to any social issue in any way.
The purpose is to have that escape. There's tons of horrible stuff going on in the world, but this is where you come to talk trivial, fun stuff, whether it's discussing opinions on movies or the history of some obscure game console, and hopefully have a good laugh here and there.
This is not throwing shade at him. I'm generally curious about the how and why behind his ability to just do his show and resist to stand on anything serious. Then again, I can see how weird it would be to see someone who reviews games do a political debate and start saying dumb shit about such topics.
I saw that post you put where you're like, the new left has to understand
we can't live in a white supremacist West that is 60% white and allows has a black president. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't know if they understand, like,
Yeah, it's
and it's like, okay, yeah, please just do your show and let people that actually know what they're talking about explore these ideas, please. Thank you.
I just want to make people laugh. That's really, I'm not trying to get back into this, but people always ask me this. I just put it to bed. I treat, my answer really, I just treat people with the same respect they give me at the end.
Right.
Don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
It's just, that's me.
I guess it's related to personality and life experience. I didn't go through the shit I did just to be a dancing clown. I want to be an outspoken and honest dancing clown. So even though I'm not exactly satisfied with my lack of audience currently on this channel, I am satisfied over the fact that I didn't have to resort to doing stupid, crazy, disgusting shit in order for some kind of intention. Yeah, I did a hot sauce challenge.
He is drooling like a mofo. Do you need the... Here we go.
So, it's not the 1 drop challenge. I guess this is the 2 drops of 9.6 million scoop.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
It was at this moment Jackson knew. He fucked up.
But we did that for fun. It wasn't like, oh yeah, oh no, I gotta do this. Oh, why we have to do this? No, it was just goofy, stupid fun. There's other people out there that try to take it that much higher. You know what I'm talking about. The jackass type of stuff. Getting kicked in the balls, fake pranks, reaction channels. I'll just say this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this who are making YouTube or gave up or whatever. If I had to get popular by doing something that Logan Paul does, which is pander to little kids, flex my wealth, make a 10-minute video where 7 minutes of it is plugging merch and tours and all this other shit.
Tour, get your tickets in the description. If you guys come on tour, you're going to be able to get some exclusive merch that is only available on tour.
Then he puts glitter on his face and jumps in the pool to entertain kids. Not an ad. But then in the very next scene, in his car, there's a merch plug.
Got my new merch on. It's the new drop. Yo, check out the shorts too.
That's 23 separate ad reads built into one video. Out of a 13-minute and 50-second video, nearly 7 minutes of that time is devoted to advertising products. 50%. Now,
if that was the only way for me to get popular, I'm pretty satisfied with where I am right now, if that's the case. If that's how it's going to be, if that's how it needed to be, I would rather be where I am right now. Because at the end of the day, I still have people in my life that I love and that love me back, as well as having a decent job that I actually like to pay the bills for now. I'm also glad I'm not stuck in some kind of box where I have to play a character and not be myself in any aspect whatsoever. I'm not stuck that way. I'm not trapped into doing one type of video. I mean, right now I'm kind of doing something that's necessary in order to keep the channel busy and maybe draw on more of an audience. However, I'm still doing things that I like. I still am speaking my mind, discussing ideas, getting comments and suggestions, making artwork and presenting it. So I'm not really losing anything right now in my mind. Another advantage that I have not being a popular YouTuber for all these years and witnessing things play out is burnout. I've seen plenty of creators come and go who have overextended themselves, who have crashed and burned. It's one thing to move on. You're done with a character, you did everything you wanted to do with that character, you want to do some other things. That makes sense. It's a difference when you just stop making videos altogether with no word, or in one case just become completely self-conscious and depressed and leave that way. Two examples that come into mind are the Spoonie experiment. A guy who won a bunch of awards, who is extremely popular when it came to video games and movie reviews. The skits were entertaining. I remember I introduced him to a couple of friends of mine and they watched his Phantasmagoria 2 review, or Let's Play I should say. They watched it from beginning to end, all 5 hours of it, because that's how entertaining Spoonie has been.
Contact your network administrator.
Oh, crap, I changed my password. Oh, damn, what was it? Phantasmagoria! Trying to remember your login! Oh, let's be basic here and guess it's the name of his stupid rat. Blanc. Oh, wow. Man, that guy can really sneeze. Man, when you get your password wrong, it really lets you know it.
And something happened. We don't know, no one knows. But the one thing that I noticed is that he was taking on a lot of projects, and this is all being done by him and maybe his brother. He was doing video game reviews, board game reviews, movie reviews.
What follows is the manliest thing ever recorded on film. Your balls may drop off in shame at the mere knowledge that you will never in your entire life do something half this manly. Holy shit, that's awesome! I want this scene painted on the side of my fucking van.
Commentaried on Dungeons and Dragons, wrestling. He's doing all these things. And I think of Wayne White, one of my favorite artists, who was working on Pee-wee's Playhouse and a number of music videos. He had this point in the documentary, Beauty is Embarrassing, where he just crashed and burned.
I would work myself into exhaustion. I got a job in Beekman's World that same year. I was like this one-man animation department for the show. That doesn't work. You can't be a one-man animation department. It'll kill you.
He really was like a slave in that place.
Overworked and overworked and overworked. By the time I finished that Offspring video, I was out of my mind. I had driven myself nutty, crazy.
You need to know when to say, I need help. And Wayne liked to do it all himself.
I got very depressed and incapacitated. That's when I started on the happy pills, the antidepressants. Eventually,
that to me is something that I make an effort to watch out for. Gotta balance that work and home life and a job that actually pays the bills. So you gotta balance all those things. You gotta remember that your loved ones gotta come first before you start that stream. So if they need something, they come first. Another example would be Dishonored Wolf. Dishonored Wolf was interesting to me because it sounds like he had some shitty friends that wouldn't give him the time of day when it came to his depression. He was tired of getting all the hate online and social media. He was very self-conscious all of a sudden when it came to his family, finding out any of his videos existed or watching them. So he deleted everything. He erased everything. The only video that exists online is his goodbye video, which I've downloaded, of course.
I know I can't really convince anyone of my sincerity, and nobody will ever really know if I was honest about it because I'll be forgotten before anyone even remembers to check and see if I came back or not. Talking to friends has a history of not working. I've never had many friends in the first place, and the few I thought I could trust enough to be open and honest with them about how I felt eventually didn't want to deal with me anymore and stopped being my friends. Now I just naturally never say anything to anyone because I don't want to lose the few friends I do have. I can't talk to my family either because they're willfully ignorant of the issues I have. When I had my breakdown in August, my parents just said that I wouldn't have depression if I believed in God. I don't want to keep being the lowlife who can't land a better job. I don't want to keep being an abrasive douchebag whose only redeemable qualities are the insults I can make up on the fly when covering some shitty video. Coupling that with my home life, my job, and my issues with depression, anxiety, and having Asperger's, all of which have plagued me my entire life, and I'm just emotionally and mentally unstable all day, all the time. I hate every video I've ever made. I think about them and I feel humiliated to have ever made them. I think of people I'm close to ever seeing those videos and it makes me feel physically ill. Even if I ultimately agree with the sentiment, which in the case of most of my videos I made, I do still believe most if not all of what I said in them, but they are badly edited, badly written, and badly communicated piles of shit that never did anything but make me feel worse about myself.
And I just find that rather sad. I hope he gets better, but it's just one of those things. So it's just one of those lessons I learned, is to not put a lot of weight on this type of content and making online entertainment. And these are just my thoughts. Got any of your own? Let's take a look at comments. So on my Done with Reactionary channel's video, I'll link that in the description. This is in regards to Mr. H saying that we've always been pretty accepting of queer people for the past 40 years or so now. Someone random responded to the video saying, I don't think we were pretty accepting of gay people in the fucking 70s and 80s. Gay subculture has had to rely on subtext and coding until at least the late 90s. What the fuck was that first guy talking about? And then my response to that is citing how one of the inspirations for V for Vendetta, the graphic novel and the movie, was there was a time in the 80s a conservative movement gained some power, and they were proposing the idea to put AIDS patients in camps. Just recently I found out that China's textbooks teach homosexuality as a mental illness. And that's today, that's this current year. So, and they're right now being sued over that. I'm not sure how the legal system works in China. Hope that works out. And someone random responds, exactly. Boy George, Rocky Horror are admittedly before my time, but even I know they had backlash from the pearl clutchers of the era. What I never really noticed at the time is thinking watching all the gay-friendly media really did help me empathize with the community from a young age. So I completely understand why people say representation matters. These chud reactionaries seem to actively resent minorities having an iota of spotlight or even not be presented to their liking. And maybe that's because they know the effect parasocial relationships can have on people. Empathy is antithetical to their political structure because they rely on othering the enemy. You have an environment that is created because of the bigoted sentiments of the society that we live in. So that's why you have issues where they try to remake a movie or tell a story and they try to tell it with a queer character in there, and then people flip the fuck out. Well, you created the situation in the first place that they can't be there, so it shouldn't be no surprise that it's a battle to validate your existence every step of the way when it comes to entertainment media. But yeah, I'll get into this in its own video. Representation matters because, say for instance, using trans people as an example, if all you had in entertainment media was reports on people who are predators, or movies where it's like a serial killer that's dressing up as a woman, they don't say that he's trans, but he's appropriating all the different traits of a trans person, that's all you get. That's the only type of person you get to see on the telly or in the movie theater that expresses those traits is some kind of psychopath. Then yeah, you're going to get an impression that any man who dresses up as a woman or any woman who dresses up as a man has some kind of condition or has some underlying sinister motive and just completely breaks your worldview. That's as far as I want to get into it right now. But if you have any comments of your own or any suggestions, be sure to let me know. Twitch art streams are Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Friday is gaming at 5 p.m. Sunday, 8 p.m. CraftyAndy, iGymTM on Twitch. Next major episode I'm working on right now is Siren Head. Expect more of these every week. Also check out the Undertale series. I also have my art prints on sale at the Art Pal store. Patreon if you want to see episodes early and get digital downloads of the finished artwork and pieces and sketchbook. And with that, toodles.